Welcome back to the OKC Foodcast. Man, it's been a long time since I've been able to say that, and it feels good to be back, but it is a little bittersweet. Ashley, unfortunately, will no longer be co-hosting, although I am sure she'll make some special appearances on the podcast. But we had to bring in two people to fill her shoes. So Ashley, you will definitely be missed by your co-host and obviously our fans out there. And I would like to think we have fans out there. But I've got two incredible people sitting across from me right now, Cristina and Josh. And man, do we love to talk about food. So these episodes could be getting longer. I don't know. No, we'll still try to keep them at the same length. But I think this is a great opportunity for Cristina and Josh to introduce themselves so you know who you're listening to now.
Hello. First of all, hi Nabil. Thank you for welcoming me to this space, this foodie space.
It's a safe space.
Safe space. Josh, awesome to be in your presence as well. So my name is Cristina. I am a Bolivian American living in Oklahoma. Been here for about 10 years or so. I think a huge reason why Nabil and I really became friends was out of our love of food. We get together, cook pizzas, have a great time. I work at the Heart Hospital. I'm also a foster care child advocate. And I don't know.
This is Christina's podcast debut.
Yeah, right? So it's this is definitely new for me, but I'm really excited to join on this project and just talk about the thing that connects us, which is our love of food and discovering Oklahoma, which is my new home, and getting to meet the people behind the places that we love to go to and where we connect with our friends. And I think as we progress, more things about me will come out. Right now, it's
some
like
things you might not want to come out.
Some
it's
details.
like an onion. We're just gonna peel back the layers.
Yeah, I am just
sometimes you will cry.
Yeah, I would like to refer myself as a shallot, actually.
Okay, all right, a milder onion.
A milder onion,
sweeter,
right?
Yeah, and so I'll just throw some details out there, little by little. I think. Yeah.
That's a good distinction, but. Glad to have you on board. I was really happy when you said yes. That sounds like I proposed to someone, but but we share the same thought and vision about food, so I think this is going to be great. Josh?
Hey, Nabil.
Hey.
Man, this is exciting. If there's one easy thing to talk about, it is probably food because it is something that everybody relates to. So this is going to be a lot of fun. My name's Josh. I actually get to work with Nabil in another realm and time and space.
Let's say you get the pleasure of...
That's right. I have the ultimate pleasure of actually getting to work with Nabil every single day. And so...
And likewise.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Well, thank you. But no, this is... we talk about food all the time in the office. We'll come in on Mondays and, we'll talk what we had over the weekend, what we did, on the grill that weekend, favorite spots.
Blackstone.
Oh, we're getting there, my friend. We're going to talk about my Blackstone. Trust me. So, a little bit about me. I am actually have been involved in politics for over a decade now. I used to be an elected official in the Oklahoma House of Representatives for 8 years. And 2018 got out of politics, but not really because I still work up at the state capitol on some lobbying efforts. But I'm a dad. I've got 3 girls. So pray for me. 3 girls, ages 6, 5, and 3. So never a dull moment. Married my childhood sweetheart. Known my wife since she was 3. I was 4.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. So so we live in Oklahoma City. I was born in Oklahoma. Born in Stillwater. Go Pokes. And
We just lost half our family.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways.
I just made somebody mad.
Quick, Cristina, say boomer.
Born in Stillwater, but my family moved around the state quite a bit over the years, and so, but I've always been in Oklahoma, love Oklahoma, and wouldn't live anywhere else but Oklahoma. And, we talk about food so often. It's exciting to see what's happening in Oklahoma around the food scene, just the excitement, the interest. And so this really for me is kind of a natural fit because one, I used to be a politician, so I love to talk, and I love food and I eat it every day. So, hey, let's talk.
Yeah. A couple of things while you were introducing yourself. You said we love to talk about food at the office, and that is universally true about everyone who works at the office.
For sure.
Like,
for sure.
Everyone loves food, gets into it, and we could have an office podcast about food. But the second thing, which you said about, living in Oklahoma and loving it here and can't imagine yourself anywhere else. When I first moved here, I moved here about 15, 16 years ago. Mm-hmm. And like most people, my initial thought, whoever moves to Oklahoma is like, why am I in Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Right?
What is here for me?
Right. But I mean, just living here and seeing the incredible growth and the change, I can't imagine myself anywhere else. I have had chances to move, but I'm still here. So,
well, we're glad you are.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I love it.
I totally feel that sentiment, Nabil, because I really didn't have quite a say coming to Oklahoma. 10 years ago, both of my parents moved here when they were really young to go to college. My dad went to OU and my mom went to OSU. And so it was kind of like a natural sequence of events for their kids to come to Oklahoma. Was like the romantic thing, like go to Oklahoma, go to the States, go to college.
Because they knew Oklahoma.
Because they knew Oklahoma. Yeah. They knew that it's where they thrived, it's where they learned. And so coming here and meeting you and meeting our friends has really made this place such, I never thought that I could find another home. It's like when you grow up somewhere, you have your formative years in a different country, and then you could go to a different place, and you have a lot of homesickness, and you miss so many things, including the food. I mean, it's really different, but I think little by little, we've been able to kind of make Oklahoma our home, and I love that we have a lot of friends that are from other places too. So really, I think the people that move here and that stay, we've just realized how amazing Oklahoma is.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
It is. It's a great place to be. And that is the reason why this podcast was born, was to really uncover all this amazing, just one facet of Oklahoma that's amazing, and that's all this amazing food that we have here and the amazing people behind the food that we have here. So with that, let's talk about food.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We got to kick it off every week with the favorite thing we ate this week, our Eat of the Weeks. So I'm going to throw it to the two of you. Ashley and I always had the thing of who goes first. But I'm going to play the seniority card and say you guys go first.
Oh, darn it. I was like, Nabil, you go first.
Ladies first. Go for it.
Okay. I'll play that lady card. Okay, so one place that I went to go visit with my fiance RJ this week was Piatto Italian Kitchen. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know if it's Piatto, I don't know.
I like the first way of saying Piatto.
Piatto,
it's like,
yeah.
And you do it.
You have to make the hand gesture,
I did.
too.
Just automatically.
Piatto.
It is on 63rd and May. I believe it's where the meat market used to be. Okay. So, anyways, but they had, the ambiance was really cool. It was a dim light, and they have a lot of seating that's very intimate. So perfect place for a romantic dinner, I think.
So
but
kind of like Paseo Grill, if either one of you has been there. They're very like secluded tables.
Or like the Metro, if you guys have ever been there, by Nichols Hills.
That's cool. Yeah.
So what I ordered, and this is kind of a thing between me and RJ, my fiance, I always order the one thing that he would never order. He's like, you always pick the one thing that I think sounds the weirdest.
I can't share.
And that's the one thing that he really gets bummed out about, because he's like, I'm about choices. I want to try all the things. Let's order 5 appetizers and then just not order, an entree. But I really wanted to try their octopus and bone marrow. Bone marrow, love it. Octopus, love it. I wanted to try both. So yeah, it wasn't a huge portion. It was medium sized. It was so delicious. So that's my...
How did they prep the octopus?
They, it wasn't seared. I think they cooked it in the pasta, I think. But the octopus was very tender. It was delicious. I liked it.
The awesome. Only time I've had octopus was grilled octopus at this Spanish tapas. Well, Spanish and tapas, I guess it's redundant. At this tapas place in Boston. And one of the things was grilled octopus, and it was delicious.
Oh, amazing.
Sounds so good.
Yeah. Man, I love tapas. I could, choices.
Choices, exactly.
I love eating multiple things, just trying different things. So, Josh.
So, I'm going to start out with a very weak submission for Eat of the Week. And I realize that this is my first time on this podcast, and I might get kicked out by doing this. But this week has been actually a very, very weird schedule for me because my wife and my kids are out of town. And so I have filled...
He's living that bachelor life.
I am living that bachelor life this week. And so I have not had a whole lot of time. I filled my time when I'm not at work with other things, with other projects. And so I've not made an effort to go out and explore some food. And so my food selection this week has been pretty sparse.
His Eat of the Week was ramen. No.
Out of the packet, not the one at the great restaurant. No, but as I was thinking about this, I actually have to go back to something a little bit lighter that I got to have yesterday. And that is, and we actually had this for a work event that we had yesterday at the state capitol. And we brought in Wonder Van Pops.
Oh, man.
If you have not had Wonder Van Pops, you are missing out. It is a popsicle truck that he sets up. He's at the farmer's market in Oklahoma City every Saturday during spring and summer. Uses all natural ingredients, all natural flavors, and creates the popsicles himself. He has a 1967 Ford Club Wagon van, the coolest van that he's tripped out. He's got freezers in it. It's got a cool little counter. The side doors swing open. The menus on the inside of the door.
Just like the 70s show.
Yeah. I mean, it's so cool. And he does not only fruit flavors, but he also creates some ice cream popsicles and ice cream bars. And it's just phenomenal. The one that I had yesterday was pear pistachio. Oh. You don't think that would work, or you think you go into it going like, we'll do it. But I was looking at the menu, and I'm like, what's the weirdest looking one here? And I was like, that's it, pear pistachio.
I want to try that one.
It was amazingly refreshing. It has that little bit of texture that a pear has, a little bit, but it also has that little
graininess.
Yeah, it's a little grainy, and it had a little bit of a nutty flavor from the pistachios. That was really good. Just a ton of flavors and a lot of very unique flavors. He uses a minimum of 3 ingredients in every single popsicle. He uses up to 8 ingredients in his apricot salted caramel.
Oh,
wow. Ambitious.
Yeah. So that was by far a highlight yesterday and for the week, especially because it was like 75 degrees while we were standing outside in the sun. Wow. It was amazing.
Josh, is he a local celebrity, this person? Like, is he just known? Like, is he a loved popsicle vendor?
So he got started doing this a couple of years ago. I think 2016 is when he started doing this. He used to bartend at Cheevers and realized that this was not what he wanted to be doing with his life, and he struck out on his own. He enjoyed fusing different flavors, unique flavors together. And so he started doing that
Bartending is
with...
a perfect tool for that.
Exactly.
Right?
He was taking
Definitely.
the tools that the tools of the trade that he had learned, and he took that and turned it into a cool, refreshing treat that you can have.
That is super cool. I was actually, I mean, it's been spoiled. We work together, so I was at the event. And my post was right outside the popsicle truck.
Yeah. Oh, I noticed that. You were like, I'm not moving.
Found a nice shady spot under a tree. No, but I mean, man, those popsicle flavors, like you were talking about, as you were saying that, I was like thinking about the ones that I ate, and I ate multiple, you know. But the best one I had that day was the pineapple elderflower.
Oh, delicious.
Man, so good. It was refreshing, light. They're talking about standing out in the sun.
Yep.
Man, it was so good. I mean, I had a couple others too, but
I don't know that I've ever tasted elderflower.
Elderflower is an ingredient that is new to me. Like I feel like I've learned. This is kind of embarrassing. I learned of it. I feel like in the last royal wedding that happened, because the cake was elderflower. I'm like, what is an elderflower flavor?
I think I remember that.
You know,
Yeah.
and I went to either Whole Foods or Trader Joe's because I was looking up some recipes to use the elderflower with, and it's a really good taste. I mean, did you like it?
I loved it. I loved it.
How strong was the flower flavor?
Not very strong. So
because like with like rose water and things, you can get a little too overpowering for people, and it's totally dependent upon the palate.
Right.
Yes.
And the
Some people
proportions
love that, but
how they make it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think he obviously, whenever he makes a pop, like he's putting thought and effort into his recipe. So
he's a mixologist.
It was So it was, man, that was my favorite one, and I went back to that today as well at the office because we had some leftovers. So that was such a good pop. But the way I think about elderflower is like a more edible lavender. You know, because lavender just smells so fantastic, at least for me.
Definitely.
But if you eat something with lavender, and I've eaten ice cream with lavender at Salt and Straw in Seattle and Portland. They make all these weird concoctions of ice creams, which is incredible. But that lavender just hits you, right? But I think the elderflower is a lot more subtle, and it's there. It's giving you like the thrill of lavender without being in your face.
That's a good description. Lavender is a potent.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful but potent flavor, smell. It's in your face.
It's in your face. This one's just on your palate.
All right, so Nabil, what was your eat of the week?
All right, my eat of the week was Gogi Go. We had this at our event. It's like all circling back.
Everybody should have been there.
Right. So next time, tell the realtors that you know to come to this event.
Yeah, exactly.
It was, I mean, I've had them before, hadn't had them for a long time, but they're a Korean Mexican fusion food truck. If you don't know Gogi Go, not Gogi Go. Oh my Gogi.
Oh my Gogi.
I said Gogi Go. Gogi Go is in Midtown, and that's also fantastic. But Oh My Gogi is the food truck that we had, and it's a Korean Mexican food truck. And I had their tacos. They have an option of chicken, beef, and probably a couple other things, but I always just straight to the chicken and the beef. And I got their beef and chicken tacos, and then we had a choice of side, which were the donuts, which were also surprisingly good. I wasn't expecting too much out of the donuts.
They're good.
They were good. You know what I think would make them better? Just some sort of like filling or a little cream on the side, maybe like a dipping cream, because obviously to coat the donuts and stuff in a food truck, time,
Yeah.
But they were dusted with like cinnamon sugar, delicious. But if they had like this little, I don't know, just something
creamy.
I'm always looking for that something extra.
Have you ever had the injected donuts at Topgolf? That's what it sounds like it needed.
Yeah, because they look exactly like that.
I don't know if y'all are all familiar with this, but Topgolf, one of the best things on their menu, they send out similar product, cinnamon sugar coated donut, and then they provide a giant syringe of chocolate sauce.
Or raspberry.
Oh.
And you can fill the donut to your heart's desire.
Oh my gosh.
And then eat it.
Or you can just squirt it right in your mouth.
Or
That's
that.
hilarious. My only experience with that was I took a cooking class once at Sur La Table a long time ago, and it was learning how to make these cream-filled donuts. And actually, just random fact, Oklahoma City is actually a testing site for Sur La Table.
Really?
So Sur La Table will bring their chefs here and they'll test out recipes. And if it's popular, it'll go nationwide. If not, it goes
So
to the
Oklahoma
trash.
is a food trend setting city.
Absolutely. Now, this was as of my class that I took last year or a year and a half ago, I think. So maybe that's changed, but maybe not. I don't know.
It's just gotten better since
Right.
then.
It's just kind of, yeah, exactly.
Right. I do think that during last year where, things shut down and restaurants had to pivot, I think Oklahomans did at least from my point of view, I feel like if we get a restaurateur out, they might think of it differently. But from what I was seeing, they were doing a really good job supporting their local restaurants. I saw various groups and various people trying to push, hey, get your food to go, make sure you take care of your restaurant, things like that. And people were posting specials and things that people were doing while they were pivoting to this new menu and new model of business. So, I mean, that's one thing about the Oklahoma food scene and the people that are in it. Everyone is fantastic. I haven't met anyone that I've been like, I don't want to talk to you. Mm-hmm. Everyone's just like so welcoming and so hospitable and open.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yep. There's no gatekeeping, I think. I think that during the pandemic, one thing that I really liked, and I'm sure you guys have experienced this too, is, it really forced you to be, not that our generation is lacking in this, but really kind of be attentive with people's like small business social media, right?
Yep.
Because I think I've followed the most restaurants ever in my life this past year. You couldn't go eat out. And I know that we all kind of live in really far away places in Oklahoma City. We're like the trifecta, like north, south, and
Yeah, right.
the other.
North, south, and middle.
Exactly. North, south, and middle. But paying attention to these restaurants, Instagram stories, they have little like make your own like mocktails or cocktail drinks or, they were, I don't know. I just thought it was great what they were doing. And I feel like they were really engaging with Oklahoma City's population.
Yeah.
And
it was encouraging to see them pivot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody across the world was having to pivot in some way last year, but to see them pivot to like, how do we effectively market? How do we effectively make sure that we're continuing our small business,
right,
but then also get the word out, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
The social media aspect was insane to
Right.
see,
How
fast it happened.
Yeah.
Like it was overnight to where
they had to, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think that was really encouraging.
Yeah. So I'm glad everything's trending / has trended, and I mean we're full force ahead,
Yep.
right? There's some new restaurants on the horizon as well, so it's exciting. So this past week, we had an opportunity. We'll talk about new restaurants ahead. That wasn't planned, by the way. It's just I'm just a natural.
Great transition.
Thank you. Tiff's Treat just opened up its location in Bricktown, and if you haven't had their cookies, you must be living under a rock, because they did an incredible marketing campaign initially where they were literally just giving you free cookies.
Yes.
They said, hey, sign up and we will deliver you free. You don't even have to go pick them up. They came to your door with a box of cookies, warm, on your door, handed to you, or left on your doorstep if you were socially distanced or distancing. Man, they were incredible cookies, and that was a great launch. But they just opened up their location. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend, but I initiated Cristina and Josh, and I was like, "Hey, let's all go to this event." And then last minute, I was like, "I'm actually moving, and I'm not going to be able to make it."
Let's do a podcast. Okay, we're going to do all kinds of fun events. Okay. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to be there.
By the way, calling you like an hour before. Oh, by the way, I can't make it.
Right.
And I'm like texting you, like, Josh, do you remember me?
Hey, don't tell everyone what happened.
You stepped in it. You started it. No, but it was a lot of fun.
I heard the event was fantastic, so yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, it was great. So the owners were there, Tiff and her husband, and also her children were there too. Although we didn't really meet her kids, but I saw them. Really cute family. I think they're originally from Austin, and they have a really cute story. So they met in college, and I think what Tiff told us is that she had stood up, I can't remember his name.
It's Tiff and Leon.
Okay, Leon. And I think she made him a batch of cookies as an apology gift. Like, I'm sorry I ghosted you, but here's some cookies. And then that's where their business started. They started making businesses and selling them on campus. And now it's turned into I think they have over 65 Tiff Street stores in the country.
Yeah, there's a lot in Texas. There's a couple in Atlanta. They opened one in Nashville, in Charlotte, and now in Oklahoma City. So.
Nice. So if you haven't had Tiff Street yet, and I mean, I have nothing else to say about that. Go try it. But we will be doing a giveaway for a Tiff's Treat gift card. Wow, that was a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. A Tiff's Treat gift card on our Instagram. So if you aren't following us yet, make sure to go to OKC Foodcast and follow us. And you might just win a gift card for Tiff's Treat cookies. Incredible cookies. Let me just say that again.
Cookies, brownies, ice cream sandwiches as well.
I mean,
they
I
have,
just know about the cookies.
Yeah, there's their storefront. They not only do they have the delivery service, which is extremely successful for them and kind of what they started on, but with these storefronts, they're able to have the actual walk-in business as well, doing ice cream sandwiches and brownies and all kinds of stuff. So definitely need to check it out.
And they've got a cookie truck.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
too, yeah. I have to add cookie dough. I feel like cookie dough is like supreme.
Yes.
Cookie dough delivery also.
Oh, yeah. Could make your own cookies. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not a huge fan of just eating cookie dough. I know a lot of people are. I just never got into it. And I think that's like a very...
is it the eggs?
Diverging topic.
Is it the eggs
I don't care about...
Because that was always my mom's thing. Like, I would sneak cookie dough when she was making cookies. She'd be like, "Don't do that. It's got raw eggs in it." I'm like,
I was going to ask, is it like a cultural thing? Because, back in Bolivia, my parents and my grandparents were like, don't ever have anything, like no raw dough at all. And then I moved here and cookie dough is like this huge popular thing. I'm like, are you going to have salmonella? Like, are you going to be okay? Like,
are you selling salmonella?
Like, I don't want to get sick. But
no, I think it's like maybe the pasteurization and how the eggs are treated and processed, I think is probably what's different. We could get into that later.
A food science episode.
Right, the food science episode on the OKC Foodcast. But this episode, I really wanted to focus on you two. Right? Get to know you.
Yeah.
What are your food choices? I mean, I kind of already know them, but for everyone listening, because they'll be listening to you every week. So let's start this off. Let's talk about some of your favorite places. And I know this is always a rotating list. Some things are always number one. But what are some of your favorite places right now that you love going to?
So I'll start. So one place that I've gone to that I've not been to before was actually on Mother's Day. I went to the Bradford House. I'm sure you guys have heard of that place or have had the pleasure to be there already. But one thing that is very loved in my culture is the tea time. I don't know if this is an influence from Europe. I'm not really sure, but in Bolivia, from the British, I don't know, which is weird because we've had the Spaniards went to go conquest the South America. But anyways, but tea time for my family is a time to get together with family, and it's kind of like right before dinner time, you know? And when I took my mom to the Bradford house for Mother's Day, and they had a special menu for brunch. And I asked to see their actual menu. I wanted to see what they had, what their specialty was. And it's a proper tea house. They have, sweets, and they have all these different teas that you can have. And I think that's so, I just haven't encountered that here. I don't know how popular that sort of place is in other places in the country, but I was very delighted when I saw that. What we had there was their crab cakes, which were absolutely amazing. And another really nice detail too was that it was really cold that day. I mean, the days leading up to Mother's Day, it was really warm and nice. And then came Mother's Day, was chilly. And
thank you, Oklahoma. And that's something you never get used to.
No.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. No consistency here. About the weather. But anyways, so they had heaters outside and they gave us blankets. So
nice.
It was really nice. Yeah, it was an awesome experience. And another of my favorite places right now, I've been to the Hutch on Avondale many times for brunch, but I'd never been there for dinner. And it gave me really awesome, like, metro groovy vibes, and by that I mean like an older audience, you know, just surrounded by people that are, couples that are maybe like our parents' age. I don't know. I liked it. Romantic, great. So my two current faves right now.
Okay.
The Hutch and Bradford House.
All right. Nice.
Like you said, it's constantly rotating for me. But one place that has remained constant through the years since it opened up was Hall's Pizza Kitchen.
Man, you just stole mine.
I thought I might have.
I
was so happy about that because I was like, he's gonna
I should have gone first.
Hall's Pizza Kitchen. I actually have known Lauren and Lori and Elise and Molly for 15, 16 years. And I ate Hall's Pizza before it was Hall's Pizza. And if you have not gone to Hall's Pizza Kitchen, I know we've done a Foodcast episode with Elise and Molly. They came in last year, or maybe a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, February 2020.
Yeah, in February. So go back and listen to that episode because a lot of really good information. You'll hear their story. But it's their story just basically started in their kitchen around pizza on Saturday night that their dad Lauren would cook in their kitchen. And this family, they're just so dedicated to excellence in everything they do. It's been fantastic to be their friends because they have a lot of good food over the years. But I mean, you cannot go wrong pretty much with anything at Hall's Pizza Kitchen. If you're looking at appetizers, Quinn's burrata, I have yet to find a burrata that's better. And anytime I see a burrata on a menu somewhere else, I will get that burrata so that I can compare it to Hall's Pizza. Because
Awesome.
I keep telling myself one of these days I'm going to find one that's better than the Hall's, and it just doesn't happen.
No. The consistency of that burrata and like the saltiness and especially with that the honey and the oil, it's incredible.
It's insane.
And I don't think the wood-fired bread hurts it.
No, definitely not.
Wood-fired bread would never hurt anything.
Oh, man.
Don't put that on wood-fired bread.
It's so delicious. So delicious.
They have a lot of specialty pizzas where they bring in a lot of unique ingredients. Again, in that wood-fired oven, just creates just an incredible flavor. You get a caramelization of the sauces into the ingredients. I mean, since I have had their original pizza for a long time now, that's my favorite. It's called the Saturday Night because that's the one they had on Saturday night. It's basically like a elevated Meat Lovers, if you will. So that's my favorite pizza from there. But then you also have some incredible desserts as well. They have a seasonal rotation that they do on desserts, so you never quite know what you're going to get. But it's always amazing. Their cheesecake is out of this world. They have a pastry chef in-house that does that rotating menu and all kinds of new selections all the time. So that's absolutely one that's always a staple. One that has rolled back onto my favorite list just because I had it again after the COVID hiatus is Black Walnut.
Oh, okay.
In Oklahoma City. Yeah. Black Walnut, if you haven't been, it's by Chef Andrew Black. And it's just a delight to be able to eat at Black Walnut, because it's unlike really a whole lot of restaurants that we have in Oklahoma City, just because you don't have your traditional appetizers, entrees, and desserts.
I love that part about it.
Yeah, you don't have your soups, you don't have your salads. Everything is by flavor profile.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It's not by course.
It's so cool. I think that concept is really cool.
The first time I went to Black Walnut, I was really confused because I was like, what is all of this stuff on their menu? You can go to their website and check it out, but they basically break everything down by sweet and savory, fresh and light, smoky and satisfying, casual and comforting, and then they have a fantastic cocktail menu as well. That there's the flavors, the meats, the vegetables that they bring in, and they truly do, because I've had just about all of the dishes. But they do stick to those flavor profiles that they tell you that you're getting, and it's just a fantastic experience.
And I think the idea of setting up a menu like that is so interesting, because that's how you eat. Right. You go in and you like, how do you pick a restaurant and be like, I'm feeling like eating this today? Mm-hmm. You don't say, I want to go eat an appetizer. Mm-hmm. Which is, I mean, and not to like, it sounds like I'm ragging on all the menus in the world. The structured menu is the structured menu, but this is such a unique concept, at least from what I've seen. I've only seen it there. Right. It's cool. And we've actually had Chef Black on as well in one of our previous episodes. So if you're new to the podcast, go back and kind of listen to some of these episodes and, learn what his thought process was behind doing that. Yep.
That's awesome. Guys, Black Walnut, is that the place that's attached to Grace Sweater?
Yes, it is, and that's also by Andrew Black.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, my experience with Chef Andrew Black was at Grace Sweater, which was phenomenal.
Grace Sweater is on my list. I haven't been there. I haven't had the chance to go there yet.
Set aside some money because you're talking about 7 course or 10 course
they
meal.
offer, I think, 2 or 3 different experiences.
5, 7, or 10.
Okay, that's what it is.
I think we went like we went all out. We did the 10-course one, and we also, again, because we're such fans of variety, RJ and I, he went with the alcoholic, because obviously there's
you could do a pairing.
And then I went with the non-alcoholic pairing because I wanted to try their different and very creative.
That's cool that they have a non-alcoholic pairing. Not a lot of places do that as well, right? Like,
and it is different. It's not just Coke. We're just taking away the alcohol here.
Here's water.
Yeah. Well, I remember they had a really delicious pairing with one of their dishes, which it was beet based. Like it was a very rich red colored drink, and I think it must have had some ginger or lemon in it. It was so delicious. But what you were saying, Josh, about the flavor based idea of basing their menu on, I wonder if they're also thinking a way to, how do we honor the flavors that Oklahoma has to offer? There's so many micro farms around Oklahoma City. I only know one because my friend used to work there, Prairie Gardens, I think is what it's called. But I know that I know just a few years ago they had to turn down a lot of business because it's not that big of a farm, and a lot of restaurants in Oklahoma City are really hungry to connect with smaller farms, so they can get that farm. They can provide that farm to table experience to their clients, and So I wonder if there's a little bit of that too. If you're doing a flavor based menu, you want to see what are the ingredients, what is Oklahoma growing right now? What can we make off of that?
And it's a true testament to the kind of genius that Andrew Black is, because throughout our entire meal when we went to the Gray Sweater, he was coming over and he was talking, he would share a little bit of the story and the thought process behind some of those dishes and make sure that the experience we were having was the best that it could possibly be. So I think you're right. There's a lot of trying to honor the ingredients, honor the culture of where those ingredients are coming from, and telling that story through the food.
Yeah, I love that part of it when they explain to you what you're eating. Like, you can read it on the menu, and if you're an experienced eater, which most of us are, because we eat every day, you can read the menu and the description, and that's all well and good. But when someone comes up and is like, this was prepared in such a way, it has that different effect, and that gives you a very deeper appreciation of what you're eating.
Well, and it shows that the chef cares,
right?
Too. I mean, in fact, I just remembered this. I remember sitting there eating, and he was walking around checking on people, and on the table just to the side of my wife and I, one of the sommeliers was about to give a new glass of wine, and he came over and was like, actually, I want you to try this one over here because I think this is going to pair a little bit better, and I want you to try it. So just that nice. Interaction, trying to show that he cared and was trying to make the best experience possible.
That's awesome. I love that. Grace Hoarder is on top of my list to go. Not
a lot of places like that over here. I think you have None Such,
which was great. I've been to None Such, and that was great.
I haven't done that one yet. I need to.
We did that kind of mid pandemic when they kind of opened again with limited seating.
With the plexiglasses?
There was no plexiglass, but they left seats in the middle. Mm-hmm. Well, we had scheduled to go there pre-pandemic, obviously, but things happen and you adjust, and I mean the food was still great. So, all right. So my current favorites, since Josh already stole one of mine, which is Hall's. Because for me, I feel like the different pizza places keep switching out, like Hall's, Empire, Gusto. They have a little bit of a cycle because they're all just that little bit different, and it depends on what you're craving.
Well,
right?
Then one will introduce a new pizza, and you're like, well, I got to go over here and try this
exactly.
one.
Exactly. So one of my other constant favorites is Osteria. That it's just good.
That's all that needs to be said.
I'm trying to describe it. Their pasta is fresh. It's made in the back, and it's just good. You got to try it. If you haven't tried it, go try Osteria. It is delicious Italian food, and it doesn't leave you feeling very heavy, which sometimes a lot of Italian places do. But since the pasta is fresh, I think it just has that lighter effect. And their sauces and stuff are so thoughtfully created. There's Chef Jonathan Stranger and Fabio Viviani that do that. And they also do Bar Cicchetti, which is in Deep Deuce.
Oh, yes.
And that's also a great place to go. So do I need to come up with a second one? That's not since you stole mine.
We can share Halls together.
Yes. We'll share a pizza together. I could rattle off a list of things, but I think everyone's heard a lot of my favorites. My other constant favorite is always Thai food, and I love trying a couple of different Thai places: Penang and Thai Kitchen. Those are the two that I rotate between.
Very nice.
Nice.
So there you go. I did two. There you go. And spicy basil is my go-to. Just FYI. We were talking about this before we started recording. There's a baseline that you try, or at least that I try in places to see, just so I can compare apples to apples, right? And spicy basil is one of my baselines in a Thai restaurant to just compare with my other ones that I've tried.
Yeah, that's interesting. So that was an interesting topic we were just talking about right before we started recording, was what is like our baseline, right? Like when we go to places, there's something we consistently order whenever you go visit restaurants. For me, in Italian restaurants, I always like to order the Caesar salad. I didn't realize how much I liked anchovies when I tried a very anchovy heavy Caesar dressing. And I think I mean, I don't know, maybe it's a superpower I have. I don't know. I can just tell when I order a Caesar salad.
A superpower.
I can just like, this Caesar salad ain't it, or the Caesar salad is dope. So yeah, different places here really, really do hit the mark with their Caesar salads. Yeah. I think the Caesar dressing, you know, I'm sure in a lot of places they always make it in-house. Got to use the anchovies. Anchovies important.
Cristina will call you out on it. I mean, just like at a pizza place, I like trying their cheese pizza. Even if it's just a slice of cheese and that's not all that I'm eating, I like trying that just to get that baseline. It's my thing and I'm sticking to it.
Josh, any baselines for you?
You know, I was trying to think through. I think it's really easy for me at like a just an American food, you know, a burger place, something like that. I think chicken wings are something, because there's a lot of places that do chicken wings, and there's a lot of places that don't do chicken wings well. You got to have that little bit of crunch on the outside, but it also has to be like, if you really care about your chicken wings, it can't be too much cartilage, too much skin around the top where the joint is. Needs to fall off the bone pretty easily.
Cooked well.
And the sauce is very important as well. Don't just dip it in ketchup or barbecue sauce or ranch dressing, please.
And also don't skimp on the sauce.
Don't skimp on it either. But I mean, find a way to, you know, do a spicy jalapeno sauce, some kind of homemade honey mustard, something like that. So I think chicken wings.
But I say if it's homemade ranch, like if they make the ranch on site, it can be really good. Because I'm not really a huge fan of ranch. But then one day RJ made ranch at home. I was like, this is good. I will eat this.
You're going to have Serena try that, because I wasn't a huge fan of ranch, but she is a ranch connoisseur.
Oh.
And so she loves home, like, if she'll know if they made it in the back or if it's Hidden Valley or whatever it is, right?
Definitely. That's how I feel about Caesar salads.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah. There you go. Peas in a pod. So continuing on this quest to get to know our new hosts, we all love to cook, right? If you love to eat, at some level you like to cook, whether you do it often or you don't do it. There is that desire to be able to create those type of dishes. So, you know, real quick, your elevator pitch, if you were being hired as a chef, what's your style of cooking?
Josh, I'm going to let you go first.
All right.
Okay.
So I think you know where I'm going with this one. Yeah. My style of cooking is anything on the grill. Anything on the grill. And
even if it's not supposed to be on the grill.
Even if it's not... we'll get there too. We'll get there. Even if it's not supposed to be on the grill, I love to grill. Charcoal, propane, electric, whatever you're using. If there's
fire in the wall, Josh is there.
That's exactly right. And my wife this past year got me a Blackstone, a 36-inch 4-burner Blackstone for Christmas.
Those are all the rage right now.
It is
for good reason.
It is for a good reason. We have done literally everything on it. I mean, I'm a dad. I've got 3 kids. Life is crazy busy, and so we're always looking for an actually pretty easy meal to put together. And the amount of things that we have figured out that you can throw onto a Blackstone and it gives an incredible flavor with just the perfect amount of seasoning and that comes naturally from the surface, as well as if you start experimenting with what order you have to cook things in so that each level gets even more flavor from the level before that. So any kind of meat, we've tried some weird stuff on the Blackstone, and more times than not, it actually works. So, but yeah, the Blackstone's been my toy for the last 6 months or so. But I love charcoal grilling as well. So meat.
Yeah, that's just something. A charcoal grill is something you can't replace or replicate.
That's right.
You know, that smokiness, that flavor. That's the grill. Cristina?
Just to add to the charcoal grill, chimichurri. I don't know if you guys have ever made a little chimichurri on your meat. Oh, so good. For me, I think lately I've noticed I've been getting a little back to my raw fish. Again, a lot of my preferred meats and flavors are not my partner's favorite flavors, so he usually just kind of runs away when he sees that I'm making something strange.
He runs away. I can actually see him doing that. He's like, oh, I'm out of here. I'm going to go get something else.
So I absolutely love raw fish. I've even tried raw meat before. I took a cooking class from this Argentinian chef once back in Bolivia, and he kind of specialized in Arab dishes, and he made this dish with raw meat, and he it was like a pastry. It was kind of interesting. But back to the raw fish. I've been experimenting with my ceviche. I love ceviche. But I'll say Peruvian ceviche. I also like Mexican ceviche too. But there's nothing like just kind of focusing more on the raw fish and enhancing that flavor. So I was at Costco a couple of weeks ago, and I saw that they had sea bass. And I was like, I've never tried cooking the sea bass in the lime lemon mix, And I also didn't have ají amarillo, which is like this yellow pepper paste that Peruvians use to flavor their sauce. I was like, you know what? I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try turmeric because it's yellow.
It's the same color.
It's the same color. I don't know.
All yellow tastes the same.
But then I also thought, you use ginger a lot in these ceviche dishes. And turmeric and ginger go really well. And so I thought, I'm going to use a lot of ginger, and maybe the turmeric will work. And it was so good. So I think for me, my cooking style, I really like to try raw things. I'm going to do it. And if I get a tummy ache, it was worth it.
You'll get over it.
I'll get over it. There's a medicine for that.
Nice.
It's the flavor. It's all worth it.
Very nice.
What's your style, Nabil?
I think the best way I could describe my style would be, I would love to experimental. I don't necessarily follow recipes. If there's something that I've never made before, I will obviously look it up and see how to make it. But at the end of the day, I never follow that recipe, and I'll always deviate. Like, I'll have plans to make a certain thing a certain way, go get the ingredients, get started on making it, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, but I could do this. and then it just kind of pivots and morphs into something that started to be what it was supposed to be, but tastes very different from what I had intended it to be. And I have started writing some of my recipes down now on the request of everyone that I make food for. They're like, I want to have what you made last month or last year. And I'm like, I have no idea how I made it. Describe it to me. What did you eat?
Improv.
Right. I was like, describe it to me. What all did it have in it? And then I'll jog my memory and make it again. But if I get enough requests of that same thing, then I'll be like, all right, instead of having to recreate the wheel every time, I'm just going to kind of write down this recipe, and that way we have that in our back pocket. So, I feel like I've come up with some, just if I was to say so myself, some incredible sauces and salsas just randomly, just experimenting. I don't know how incredible they are. I think they're good.
I mean, incredible enough to win the burger contest.
Yes.
Circa 2018.
Right. Yeah.
Little Dr. Pepper sauce over there.
A little Dr. Pepper sauce. Yeah, that came out as a joke. Me and my friends were really getting to burger making, and we were planning on grilling the next day. Well, a little story time. We were planning on grilling the next day, and we're like, what sauce should we try this time? Because we tried a couple different things before that. And I'm like, just rattle off things, and if something catches our attention, we'll make it. And he's like saying things like strawberries and this and that. And then he mentioned Dr. Pepper, and I just was like, we could work with that. It's got 23 flavors built into it. It's a lot of fun. And when you start making it, you're just like, I think this will go well and this will go well, and so experimental.
Very nice.
As you're cooking, what is your favorite ingredient that you like to work with?
Man, I think
and why?
I think I definitely love to incorporate anything citrusy.
Okay.
Lately, like it'll be either like a lemon or an orange. Like the other day, I was trying to remember what my mom used to cook for us when we were little. It was like a mustard, like oven roasted mustard chicken thing. And I remember it would taste a little citrusy. So I would I think this is like a common thing. I don't know, but I just kind of squeezing a lot of lemon on it. It was delicious. And then going back to the ceviche too, using an orange also to just add a little bit more of a robust, more
a little bit of sweetness.
A little
in the back,
sweetness in the back, yeah. I've been using a lot of lemon and orange and lime lately.
Nice.
I think that's my go-to right now.
Nice.
I've got two that I use a lot.
You pick one.
I'm tough. I'm talking.
I had 3, but
garlic.
Okay. Yeah.
Garlic can go with so much more than what people think it can.
Ashley always used to say, obviously we're missing you on the podcast, you measure garlic with your heart.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly. No, that's really good. That's really good. It's not just, you don't have to just put it in Italian food.
Right, it goes everywhere.
It goes everywhere. And second ingredient.
As long as it's cooked.
Or roasted.
Or roasted.
Roasted. Somehow treated.
If you throw a little bit of olive oil on a whole clove of garlic,
roasted
throw it
garlic.
in. Oh, man.
And then you got garlic oil.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so versatile.
Yeah.
And I use it in a lot of stuff. Second would be peppers. Peppers
Okay.
of any kind. I love heat, but again, being a dad of 3 little girls, they hate spicy foods. So a lot of times what will happen
This
is...
tomato is spicy.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, some nights they're just like, that looks spicy, so I'm not going to eat that.
Yeah.
But there's no spice in it, I promise you. But
why is it so red?
exactly. But so a lot of times what will happen is we'll make food for the girls and then we'll have an elevated dish later so that we can add a little bit of spice to it. But
throw it black on the black stone and add spice to it.
Exactly. So, jalapenos, ancho, poblanos, and all kinds. I mean, the list goes on and on for me, but just to... Some dishes you're just going to use a little bit. Some of them I really like to spice it up, but it's so versatile. My wife actually makes a really good poblano cream sauce that we'll put over fajitas, steak, put on burgers, and it's heavenly.
Nice.
So
That sounds delicious.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna have
good.
to. So something I forgot to tell you when you first signed on for the podcast.
Here it comes.
Oh no, fine print.
Is all the stuff that you talk about, we have to try at some point.
Well, yeah, that's.
Oh,
I thought that was.
absolutely.
I thought
okay,
that
all right.
was
Well,
a requirement.
A given.
So.
Wait, you guys would be down to clown with the raw fish for real?
Down to clown with the raw. I don't know if I want to clown with the raw fish.
I'll eat it.
I feel like it's such a people either are really repulsed by it or they're very intrigued by it. So
Yeah.
that's why.
No, I've tried. I've had ceviche before and I enjoy it.
Awesome.
All right, so you're making ceviche.
Nice.
You're making something on the Blackstone. I'll experiment with something.
Sweet.
We'll figure it out.
Let's do it.
My favorite ingredient that I think I use more often than anything else, I think garlic would definitely be one of them, but onions.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like most of the stuff that I make always starts with onions. Onions are very versatile, right? They take so much flavor that you give them. And if you dice them up real fine, they just disappear. You don't even know they're there. You can caramelize the onions and you put them on top of a burger. Like, that's a whole different story because there's that sweetness that comes out of the onion that just wasn't there when you have a raw onion. Sometimes I'll put raw onion on top of food because it gives you like that bite and that crunch that cuts through everything.
Yes.
I think onions are solid. I don't know how else to describe them. Like, there's so many ways you can use them. They take on whatever flavor you give them. They're great. I like onions.
Agree.
Nabil, do you put your onions when you want to have them crunchy and raw, like red onions, for example, like in an iced water thing, and kind of store them in the fridge till they're ready to use?
No, I'll usually. It depends on how sharp the onion is and what you want to go with, right? Most of the time, it's just sliced and that's it. But sometimes you can if you rinse off the onion, it like takes away that bite. Like, it makes it a little more mellow because it washes it away a little bit. So there's times I've definitely done that, but most of the time it's just
want it
sliced up, and you get the onioniness. I feel like a lot of people be like, "Ooh, raw onions." Serena used to be like that. She never ate raw onions, and then she's just like,
I still can't to this day.
Really?
I've tried many times. Red onions, sweet onions, white onions, whatever it is. I cannot do a raw onion. Now, you saute it or cook it in any form or fashion, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's just that sharpness and that aftertaste that I just can't get past.
I'm going to have you try, maybe you've already tried this, but really soaking them in ice water.
I have not tried that, giving them an ice
can
bath.
do the trick.
So it mellows them out.
Yeah.
And I also think that onions, especially Pakistani food, has kind of like that flavor built into it. So the onion adds to it. Yeah, I guess it would depend on what you're eating
Sure.
and too, right?
Sure.
So I grew up with this, and so
Right.
yeah, onions. Let's just talk about onions,
Peel those layers.
right? Peel those layers. We've mentioned onions a lot on this episode, I feel. More than our usual ones. All right, so we talked about our favorite ingredient. What is something related to food, and this could be an ingredient, a flavor profile, a texture, like you were saying, just anything relating to food that you just can't stand? Like, that's just, it's a no-go. As soon as that happens, you're like, it just sends chills down your spine.
I guess I'll start. I don't know. Or Josh. I hate.
Do you want me to start?
I think it's your turn, Nabil.
Okay.
Go for it.
My weird thing is, when you're having a popsicle or an ice cream bar, and then you get to the end,
Oh, I think I know what you're going to say.
and you lick or bite into the wood.
Yes. Gross.
Oh, yeah, you just stiffened up.
Yes,
Yep.
no, chills just went up my spine.
Gross.
Yeah, that's just like, it just
Yeah.
can't do it. I'm
Please
sorry
stop
for
talking.
sorry for anyone listening.
Maybe they need to
mine.
flavor their popsicle sticks.
But I think I don't think it's the flavor. I think it's that texture is what it is. So, anyway, that was me.
I don't want to gross you guys out. It's really hard for me to not like something. I am so open to trying new things, and I usually will always find something about it that I like. But I have tried many.
What do you like about popsicle wood?
Well, I haven't. It was not very memorable for me, so I really.
It's the fact that it holds the popsicle together.
It holds it together. It brings it, unites it. No, but
Go ahead.
But as far as an ingredient or like a meal or something that I do not sign for is what we call menudo, and it can have many different names depending on the culture you come from. But basically, it's cow stomach, you guys. Cow stomach has such a unique smell and taste. It is like nothing I've ever tried in my life, and I'm sad that I don't like it because it's something that's really loved by a lot of people. It's kind of like the thing that you order after a night out or,
Really?
Morning of New Year's Eve or something.
So it's like a hangover cure?
I think it's a hangover cure. Yeah.
It's not the first thing I think of.
No.
when-
You know what will make me feel better?
Cow stomach.
I don't know why. Maybe, well, again, cow stomach probably used a different way in different places, regions, cultures, but at least for a lot of Latin people, I think it's as a hangover cure maybe, and it doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine isn't nearly as bad as either of yours.
Well, you're not trying hard enough.
I guess not. But there's one ingredient that I just can't. I just can't with, and that's Brussels sprouts.
What?
Even with the coming of the Brussels sprout?
What?
Yeah, I just cannot do Brussels sprouts. I've tried it many different ways. My wife has made me try it many different ways. Doesn't matter if it's glazed with a balsamic reduction, salted, caramelized. Now it helps when it's caramelized.
Yeah, opposed to raw.
I've had yeah, I've had some Brussels sprouts at some restaurants. I was searching some menus to try to figure out if I could figure out where I'd had them that were close to being okay, but they were covered in like maple syrup or brown sugar or something like that.
So it's like not Brussels sprouts.
It was not Brussels sprouts. Yeah. So I get the chills and just kind of turns the stomach a little bit with Brussels sprouts.
Okay.
So it's kind of unique, but
yeah. Okay. Man, we
got deep with that.
I'm still thinking about the popsicles.
Stop saying it.
I can't help it. It's in my head now. And so what I've started doing is I don't go for that final lick.
Oh, I don't. I normally don't even get popsicles because of that.
Really?
Fact. Yes.
Oh,
like
wow.
yesterday with those popsicles, that was a big deal for me. That was a big step. I took a big step yesterday.
And you're glad you did.
And I was glad I did.
I didn't know the dislike for popsicle sticks was this intense.
Yeah, I actually thought that was really weird. I was just like, I thought this was like a discovery that I made. I was like, oh, that's really weird that I don't like it. But
no, I think you'll hear from other people saying, yeah, that's pretty bad.
All right, well, if you either agree or disagree with us on our likes and dislikes, drop it in the comments or send us an email or message us, and I think it'd just be interesting to see where people stand.
I'm curious. Maybe we should do a poll on the Instagram.
There
see what people say.
Hey. All right, so when this episode drops, poll away. All right, I think we're kind of rounding out this episode of getting to know Cristina and Josh and getting to know Nabil. What is an area that you want to, gastronomically speaking, whipped out my thesaurus there. What's an area that you want to grow or explore more that you've kind of shied away from in the past?
Well, I'll go first. How about this?
My
area. I mean, I already said I love cooking with meat. I love vegetables and trying new things on the Black Stone. I have always been more towards the savory side in everything that I've done. I have very little experience on the sweet side. So pastries, anything, really, honestly, anything to do with sweets. Like I can, but I don't have a good understanding of the whys and the hows when it comes to pastries or cakes or pies or anything like that. I love to eat them, but I have very little knowledge about flavor profiles and I mean just even down to the we were talking Tiff's cookies earlier, and I made the joke when we were at that event and they were talking about how each batch can just kind of be totally different, and I was like, yeah, I mean you add half a teaspoon more butter and your cookie's completely flat and it doesn't stand up. And that's about the extent of my knowledge to baking and on,
I think
on
that's
the
a good
side.
foundation.
I think so too, but I don't know which way, if it needs more butter or less butter.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's like I don't know which way to go. So yeah, that's the biggest area for me that I need to branch out a little bit more and figure out a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. I was going to say something really similar too. I feel like the only thing that I'm sort of good at doing as far as baking is a lemon meringue pie.
That's solid. If you've got that skill. That's
just
right?
like
what else do you need?
It's like I just went up to expert level right now.
It's kind of a joke in my family because when I was little, we had this really old America's Test Kitchen cooking book. And that was just like the one thing that I really liked. And I learned how to do this one specific thing from memory now, but it's the only thing I can bake. But just to kind of diversify this topic a little bit away from baking, although that is something that I would like to grow in, is I think using learning how to cook different things in the uni. So I don't know if people are familiar with the uni oven. My fiance and I just got one a few months ago, and we've been really taking advantage of a lot of pizza making with that.
Serena and I took advantage of that too. That was an incredible pizza.
Yeah, I'm so glad you guys like that. But yeah,
I'm gonna get one eventually. I'm gonna get one.
I think that
we probably will too.
For the price and versatility of it, because for a while we were thinking, should we just make our own oven in the backyard?
Right.
But then we discovered the uni, and we did a little bit of research, and it's really amazing. And I kind of want to learn how to make other things in that thing that's not a pizza, you know?
Okay.
Like I want to make some...
Like a calzone.
Yeah, maybe some salteñas for any Bolivians that are out there listening.
Some bread.
Different types of bread. Yep.
Oh, you could have a lot of fun with that with some bread.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So
you can make breadsticks.
Garlic nuts.
To go with that calzone.
Right. I'm thinking in the same genre right now.
Yeah, bread's another thing too that an area I want to grow in.
Yeah.
So
nice. Well, I 100% echo what Josh said about baking. That is something I want to grow in. But I think more immediate, what I want to do is try to do more seafood. I mean, I've cooked things like salmon and things like that, but like, you mentioned sea bass, never tried cooking that, or you mentioned another fish and I'd be like, what? So that's an area that I want to grow into and experiment with, is more seafood, and maybe not just, just like pan-searing it, but like trying different types of dishes and recipes. Not that I follow recipes, but we'll see what happens.
Improv seafood night.
Could be dangerous. I feel like seafood, and I think that's why I've shied away from it. I feel like you have to know more of what you're doing than if you're working with something like chicken or steak, right? You could, I guess you could argue the other way too. I think I'm just more familiar with the chicken and steak.
Their complexities.
Right.
I mean, it's just what you're more familiar with.
Right.
We'll probably have to get you a thermometer, Nabil. One of those little...
So I've always had one, but I never use it.
Of course.
Here's your chance.
I like going with the feel.
I know. Feeling that ancestral energy.
Yeah. I'm connected to my food.
I know.
A thermometer would make life a lot easier than guessing and hoping. But I think a thrill is, man, I really hope the steak is done. You pull it out like whatever 6-7 minutes that you've thought have elapsed. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. But like with that feeling, you're like, okay, I think this is done. And then when you cut into it and it's perfect, you're like,
oh, it's satisfying.
Yes. But if I've already measured the temperature, there's no thrill in cutting it. It's there.
I can see that. Okay.
I like thrill.
You like to be surprised with that medium rare, like, okay.
Right. Oh, hey, I did it. I can make a steak. All right. Well, I think this was a fun episode to get to know you two as foodies and the new co-hosts.
Let's do it again.
All right. So tell us about yours. No.
Now.
Let's start over. Okay, so my name is Cristina.
Let's do another podcast at some point later in the future. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm not saying let's do it again.
I think you two have passed the test.
Okay.
So we will be having future episodes. And, we're going to go back to our weekly episodes. We're going to have some fantastic chefs on. We're going to talk about some of the great food that we eat and venture out and maybe experiment on the Blackstone, maybe a little bit of uni making and some pies and dessert and seafood, and that could make an interesting meal. What if we made seafood in the uni?
I would totally. I'm intrigued. Some lobster tail in the uni. Mm-hmm. Could it be done?
What about Brussels sprouts?
Let's convert Josh on Brussels sprouts. There you go. Now, sometimes I take that as a challenge. Not necessarily that I'm going to follow through with this, because I probably don't make the best Brussels sprouts, because I haven't actually tried making Brussels sprouts. But like whenever someone's like, I really don't like onions or I don't like peppers, I'm like,
they're like, just you wait.
Let me fix you up.
Right. And they're like, ooh, this is really good. What does it have in it? Onions and peppers. Yep. It's just how it's cooked and how you maybe sometimes even just hide it, right? Because like, anyway. Yep. So I am so excited to be doing these episodes again and looking forward to chatting with a lot of incredible food creators in the future. If you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button so you know when that next episode is out. If you're new to the podcast, and if you feel so inclined, you can go back and listen to the old episodes, but definitely listen to the new ones that will be coming out. And follow us on Facebook, Instagram. You can always send us an email, okcfoodcast@gmail.com, or send us a message. And I mean, you know, one of the things that I love about this podcast, and you too, Will, I feel as well, is how many people message us to either, you know, get a recommendation or say, hey, I tried that and you talked about it and it was really good, or hey, where do I find this that you were talking about? You know, it's so much fun interacting with all the people that are discovering and eating food in Oklahoma. It's tons of fun. So if you ever think about messaging us, don't think twice. Just do it. Yep. Even if it's just to say hi.
Do it.
Love to hear from you.
Yes. So with that, as a tribute to Ashley, eat well and be happy. And then she says bye.